Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of enLIGHTen with Div and Deb. And we are not live today, as you'll see. Zoom was having some issues, and yet we were like, let's carry on and talk about this topic anyway, because it's a juicy one, and it's one that I was really excited to explore. So how do we know a dysfunctional relationship? What are the telltale signs of a dysfunctional relationship? In order to know a dysfunctional relationship, we have to know what a functional relationship is, I would say. And what would you?
We haven't made a definitive list of characteristics and behaviours and things, but in broad strokes, unless you are whole and functional in yourself, you will find it very difficult to have a whole and functional relationship with another person. Because if you are feeling empty or not so good, it's very enticing to want to cling to and hold onto someone that is making you feel good and feel full. And then you know, when you're looking to another person, they have to be in a certain way so that you can feel a certain way. This is thought with danger for our relating or relationship with another.
Absolutely. That's if you're looking to gain or get something in partnership, then you already know that you're not whole, full and complete in yourself, and that's already a sign that it will be a dysfunctional relationship.
Yes, it will show up sooner or later. And look, it's very tricky for us as humans because of that. You know, there are so many biological factors that will make us feel attracted to someone, and it feels really, really good. We think dopamine feels good. Oxytocin is a whole next level thing, you know. And when we are having skin contact with someone, we're having nice orgasms with someone, there's lots of eye contact, and we get, you know, lots of lovely oxytocin. It's just like, oh my God, nothing else in the world will compare to the beauty of this experience. And we can get quite hooked on that oxytocin. But humans don't continue to have the behavioural set that is there in the start. Going on dates, sitting down saying, here, let me share all I have of you. I'll give you my backstory. I'll tell you I've got parents. I'll tell you what I like and I don't like. And the person sitting there going like this, hanging on every word. Oh, me too. I love that thing. And all of this, right? That's the behavioural set that creates the oxytocin. If we haven't taken some time to find out, are our visions in life, like, are we actually headed down the same path? Are we heading towards the same things so that we can be sojourners in life? The way in which we want to travel, you could call that our values. Are they similar? Are we wanting to do similar things in life? If those things aren't established there first, we would actually make good travel companions in life. And if we're not feeling like whole and self-contained over here, so you're whole and self-contained over there, you're not actually needing me to feel something, but I'm whole and complete and responsible for myself, and you're whole and complete and responsible for yourself, and we're moving along life together. That is what I would say is a functional relationship, or a functional way for two humans to be relating, or in
you speak to that
relative to each other. Yeah,
because that's so key, right? Relationship is being relative to one another, and when we are anticipating a certain person's going to be in a certain way, it's wrought with disaster, because we humans, we're variable, we're messy. This is the way we are. When we look after ourselves, we take care of ourselves, we can make ourselves steady and stable in and of ourselves. There doesn't need to be another for that. And yet, how the norm, it seems, in society, the norm is one in which there is this narrative that there must be this attraction and sparks must fly, and that is the ideal, is what is the media would have us
think. That alone is not sufficient for having a loving, long-term functional relationship.
And I would say also it's probably more likely than not a recipe for dysfunction and disaster in that way, because when there is that kind of magnetic attraction, there's polarization that's happening to some extent, and then you won't necessarily be aligned in the way that you turn up in the world.
Yes. And I wonder, how clearly can you be seeing the person that you're making a lifelong decision about if you're clouded with oxytocin and all of those sparks in your eyes and things like that. But I was just talking with someone, and they gave a testimonial about YSC, and they were explaining how they have such a beautiful, and I know because we have regular conversations, they truly have a deep, profound, loving, and quite, all happening in the bedroom, a relationship too. And she was saying how that was odd for her, because when they went on their first date, she didn't feel attracted to him. She had felt very attracted to her first husband, which was a relationship that was very empty and no connection, and they were just two people living in the house together after a while, and yet that physical attraction had been there. And she was actually looking for somebody where there was that fullness and sexual connection, and they met, and that was there, not there, zero. And they said, well, you're a nice person, I'm a nice person, let us just spend time together getting to know one another. And the more and more they became connected, and more they recognized how aligned they were in some things. Not that they're, she's very spiritual and he's like, that's not my thing. But a real respect for, oh, that's you and that's your way of operating, and you see me and this is my way of operating, and respect that, and a real deep attraction and a drawing close to one another came from that. And she shared that, and she said one of the most important things she learned in the program was that there is no perfect person. There is no perfect combination of them and you, like there is a perfect relationship. But there is a perfect, in inverted commas, way to be alongside another. And she said, it's about what you bring in and how you be that makes it beautiful and perfect.
I totally agree. I totally agree with that. And so I reckon that's a good place to wrap up today's episode, because it doesn't really get better than that. To consider are you on drugs when you're making your partnering decisions? These are important things to consider. Oxytocin's the hard stuff. So make your partnering decisions. When you're off drugs, they won't be as dysfunctional. These are the things that I wish I knew, my younger self. public service announcement.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.